Good morning, guys. Welcome to Thermomixing Adventures. Lisa here, and welcome. If you are new here, do enjoy these videos today. And most days, I jump online and cook real food from my home. Now, today I'm going to bring you some savory scones I'm making for the kids for morning tea. Those of you who've been on so far this year, you know we've shaken things up a bit around here. I've got 4 boys and they are now in charge of cooking 4 days a week. So they have a day each. They need to cook 3 things a day. They've got to cook a snack and lunch and a dinner. I also homeschool those kids, so hence the reason they need to do a lunch in there as well. However, I reckon if I was sending them to school, they have to do their lunches as well. I am coming to you from a spare room in my house. Hopefully in a few months' time, I'll be in my pantry again. And I'm so excited to be back in that space sharing with you. So I do apologize when the light's not great and the sound's not great, or you hear my kids coming and going. I really do present real stuff to you guys. My hope is that you will get more out of your Thermomix, okay? So whether you've got a TM31, TM5 or TM6, I've been there, right? I've had all of those models. So I will give you the hints and tips to use, even if it's a TM6 recipe on your TM31 or TM5. Generally speaking, I also step you through step by step the recipe. So if you don't have the guided functionality, you could cook, and many people do cook along to these videos afterwards. Okay, they literally use them as a stepping stone. I apologize today for the 1,655 million flies in this room. It is humid, it is sticky, there is a cyclone coming into the Queensland coastline, and it is gross. So the flies are loving life, and I've already run around like a crazy one with a fly swat, but I didn't get them all, as you can see, as they fly around. So do excuse the flies flying around. So today I'm going to do these cheese and bacon scones. Now remember, if you're watching on Facebook, hit the follow button. That means you'll get notification when I come live, and you'll also get notification if you've missed the live. It'll say Lisa went live, and you'll be able to go back and find it, okay? If you are on YouTube watching the replay, of course, subscribe to that YouTube channel, okay? So that you will find when the videos come up as well. And I tend to put, this is important, people ask me, I'd love to see the final product. Guess what, guys? You get it. So if you're on YouTube, it's the beginning image and the end image. And it's actually even the thumbnail. If you're on Facebook, I put a replay reminder up for 7-ish o'clock at night time, most days. Okay, occasionally it'll fall the next day because life just got crazy after the video and I didn't get to assemble it, all right? But usually I put a replay reminder, and that actually has the picture as the thing. It's got the picture and it's got the name, it's got my colors, the pinks and the reds and all that jazz. And it says, hey, did you see today's video of making blah, 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 blah? And it's there, right, with the link. So that's where you can see it. If you're like, what did that look like? What did that come together like? That's how you see it. So I hope that helps you as you watch on this year. At the moment, I'm a bit ad hoc. I'm making it up as I go along. Starting February, there's a bit more structure coming. Watch this space. I have some exciting stuff planned for you guys this year. Some more cook-along style cookbooks coming out. You guys know I run cheese courses and Easter grazing box series and things like that from my website, okay? Particularly important for those of you who don't have a consultant walking alongside you in your journey with your Thermomix. Those courses are invaluable to you, okay? That's what they're designed for. Those of you who don't have somebody who you can call and go, hey, I'm making this help, okay? That means I get to invest into you and help you get the most out of your Thermomix beyond just these videos, okay? It becomes far more personal. So they are there for you, but I've got a few more I'm adding this year, so I'm super excited about that today. This year. I'm just not sure if I want to do them in the new kitchen or if I'm doing them here yet. I haven't figured out the timelines yet, but I'm so excited. But anyway, today I'm bringing to you the cheese and bacon scones. They are going to be gluten-free. They're from Cookie Doo. They are not dairy-free. I'll talk to you about some possible dairy-free alternatives as we go. There is butter, there is milk. Milk's easy to replace. Butter at this time of year where it's so sticky and hot, not such an easy replacement. But let's get started into this recipe. Now I have pre-done the beginning because it needed some cooking, and I didn't want you to sit around for 5 minutes watching me cook. So preheat your oven. If you've ever failed at scones, I'm going to give you some tips today as well about scones, whether it's sweet or savory. Line a baking tray and set aside. I was going to use my Thermomix, because my kids have been cooking, things are everywhere. Like normally I can jump in here and I get online and I'm online within 5 minutes. Today it's taken me 35 minutes. I've had to find ingredients, I've had to find baking paper, I've had to find trays. Nope, the trays are dirty. They didn't get washed up because I wasn't cooking with them. I've got some training still to do with the kids about, you know, not just cooking the recipe, but clean it up afterwards. We're getting there, work in progress. It will get better, I'm sure. So first things first, it asks for half a brown onion cut into wedges. Now this is bacon and onion and chives and stuff and cheese. If you don't do bacon in the next step, skip it out. It's as simple as that. The Thermomix doesn't know you do or don't, so just skip over it. By the way, as you're watching all these videos, remember to share them with your friends who have Thermomixes, or maybe they've ummed and ahed about getting one. Maybe they've been to a demo and they've still not made a decision. Make sure they see these videos, okay? My background is teaching. Before I had children, I was a teacher, so that's why I don't mind teaching people how to use a Thermomix. And that's why I'm actually passionate about making sure you do use your Thermomix. I don't want it to be a dust collector on the shelf, okay? So, yeah, share these videos far and wide. And of course, if you've got someone wanting to get a Thermomix, please reach out for a referral link. What that means is before they buy, if you can get their details into me, I can get you a $50 Mix Shop voucher when they do buy, which is a pretty sweet deal, okay? So I'd love to be able to do that and honor you in that process. Please don't let them go to the website and go in there without a consultant name attached, okay? Adding a consultant name is hugely important for us consultants and for them and their journey as well. So please, just a couple of notes there. Hit me up for a referral link if you've got someone interested. And also please make sure that if they're ever going to do it, they need to put a consultant name down at the checkout, okay? All right, bacon pieces, bacon cut into pieces, okay, into the Thermomix, some oil, and then we have high heat cooking. So it asked me to put the splash guard on top. Now let me just talk to you about that splash guard. Now if you have a TM31 or a TM5, your equivalent is your simmering basket on top, okay? Instead of, this is the splash guard, comes with your TM6. You don't need to get a splash guard. If you put it in the back of the cupboard, grab it out. Use it for the high heat cooking. Now, if you're doing this on a TM5 or 31, you don't have high heat, but you've got Vorwerk. So I want you to put yours on the same amount of cook time, which is, I think it's 7 minutes, Vorwerk, and I want you to just put on reverse speed 1 and let that cook off, okay, and simmering basket on top. Simple as that. We've got 7 minutes max and high heat. If you are a TM6 owner, you do need to follow guided to access high heat, okay? Through Cookie Do is best. However, there are some in your basic cookbook. So if you've let your Cookie Do lapse and you're not using your subscription, I don't know how you do that. I use it so much. Like, I mean, even with my kids cooking, they are planning it on Cookie Do. They're creating a shopping list so that I can shop on a Monday night and get all the ingredients for what they've got. Like, game changer. Okay, my kids can cook. But anyway, back to this. Scrape down the sides with a spatula. But what I was going to say is there are some in your basic cookbook. So if your basic cookbook's inbuilt regardless of subscription or not. So if you need a high heat recipe, go find that one and just use the onion and the bacon in that high heat recipe. If you need a hand with that or you're confused, reach out, okay? Happy to help. Okay, on with the measuring cup, like the picture shows, and then it's got a 2 minutes on speed 4. Now, if you're on a TM31 or a TM5, go up to speed 6. Just take it a bit further. Yours will go up a little bit slower because it's hot. Transfer to a bowl and set aside. Okay, there we go. We've caught up now. Bowl, set aside, done. So if you've got the 31.5, it just won't be quite as caramelized. It'll be fine, okay? Loved my TM31, loved my TM5, okay? It's just like the little sisters to the TM6. All right, plain flour, gluten-free or non-gluten-free, totally up to you. Or if you've only got baker's flour, because, you know, before we were gluten-free, I just would buy baker's flour because I could make amazing scrolls and breads and pastries and all that sort of stuff with it. It's got a higher protein content. It's a bit fluffier. So, you know, I used to just buy that. So if that's all you got, use that, okay? 450 grams. And it goes. I'm using a gluten-free. You can make your own gluten-free flour mixes in the Thermomix. It's a bit of a time thing at the moment for me. I just don't have the time. A lot of the bread recipes, you've got to make your own flour mix, and it's part of the recipe, and it's amazing. The artisan gluten-free loaf, one of our favorites here. The kids are regularly making that and turning it into pull-aparts and pizza bases and all sorts of things, okay? Gluten-free stickier, but it works still. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? So this is our baking powder. In this goes I love this little thing. I picked it up at a local gift shop before Christmas, and for my friends, but I actually kept one for myself too. And it's cool. It sits on the bench. It looks a little fancy. Hello, Andrea. Lovely to see you on today. But it's got a tablespoon at one end and a teaspoon at the other end. It's like a pottery style thing or ceramic or something. So I like it. I like things that are multi-purpose. Okay, very minimalistic. Just a little bit of insight into me. Otherwise, things get out of control at my home. Probably because there's 6 of us. Okay, so I am very minimalistic, and if things have to have dual purposes around here. Otherwise, drives me crazy. Okay, half a teaspoon of salt. I quite like simplistic. That's probably the word that can underline my life. Okay, unsalted butter. Now this is where if you are dairy free, I would go coconut oil. If it is winter, it will be set hard. At this time of year where everything is so soft, you're a little bit stuck for choice. I know some of you will reach for things like Nuttelex. The ingredients, meh, okay, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. If that's what you got to have and you want this recipe and you want to make it, okay? So 120 grams of butter. I found this brand of butter the other day, by the way. We live a bit regional, and so sometimes we have not the greatest selection of stuff, and often, like the other day when I got there, the meat truck thankfully had got in, but the shelves were bare. They were about to restock them and they were bare, and this is like 4 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. So anyway, but what I was going to say about this butter, it's grass fed, which I'm pretty cool about, and it was cheaper than the other brands, which I really like. So I was like, that will do me. I always buy, it is a product in New Zealand, but I don't mind New Zealand products, that's okay. They got lots of cows and sheep, I'm guessing. Cows for that, obviously, not sheep, but I think they got lots of sheep as well. So anyway, always check your per kilo. That's how I often, or per 100 grams, I always shop and I always read those labels. You know, they can often trick us. You know, I know recently one of the cream cheese brands reduced their block size considerably, didn't change the price tag. Actually, very quickly it went up, I think. All right, 120 grams. It is really warm. I wish I turned the fan on. Okay, some cheeses. It says cheddar cheese. This is where you can kind of get a bit creative. I've got some leftover, like a strong cheese from Christmas. Okay, I know that was a long time ago. So then I'm going to add in a few other bits and pieces. I'm going to add in some Parmesan, just for flavour. Not a huge amount. I do have Tasty here as well. I need 140 grams. So a little bit of Parmesan. I am sweating. The kids got in the pool this morning, but they told me it was cold. So let's see what today brings. We've been trying to prep our place for the wet weather that's apparently coming. Trying to make sure our chickens have some dry spaces they will be able to hang out in for the couple of days. It's already been wet here. We are very soaked here already, just from the showers constantly daily. So if we do get all this water from the cyclone, it's going to be interesting because we're already boggy. And we are on sand, so things run away. The water generally drains, but we are already full. So this is, if we get a lot of rain this weekend, it's going to be really interesting. We're high and dry, not going to make too much. We'll probably cut us off from Gympie, but we won't actually be affected too badly because we're actually on the top of like a hill. Like it'll just run away, so that's cool. But it just makes things really wet. So we've been trying to give the chickens space to run and be able to live without being drenched. So 10 sprigs of chives. We've just got them growing in the garden. I'd encourage you that if you haven't this year started yourself a herb garden, put it on the to-do list. Okay, if you need a hand or you need inspiration or something to do that, let me know. Okay, we grow a lot of our own food, mainly because I feed so many children. Okay, they eat a lot, so if I can subsidize my bills from the groceries by the garden, happy days. We literally this morning planted more sweet potato shoots. Okay, but one of the simplest ways is actually having a veggie garden close to your back door or your kitchen door or your back patio area. And you can grow the things that you use all the time. We use chives regularly. We use parsley regularly. If you use coriander, I don't use coriander. It used to grow like weeds at my old house. I hate coriander. It tastes like squishy ants. I don't know how I know that it tastes like squishy ants, but I feel like it does. But like rosemary, that will grow into a bush and it will be bushy for, like, you'll be able to give it away to your neighbors. So have a think about the things you at times go and buy, because you can probably go to a produce, hardware, whatever they're called, not going to say any brand names, and pick up a punnet of that for the same price that you're going to buy at the supermarket. Plant it, give it a little bit of TLC, and put it somewhere. My biggest advice for growing stuff is put it somewhere where it's in front of you. Okay, don't put it, if you never do your laundry, you never hang out washing, you use your dryer, don't put it at the back door, okay, that you go out there. Put it at your front door. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it, and then that means you're going to tip a bit of water on it. Okay, my biggest bit of advice, coming from the person who has minimal attention span and forgets about things easy, like turning on a hose to water things and leaving it on for hours. Okay, that's me. So, on with the lid. We're a bit chatty this morning. Sorry guys, this is taking a long time to make scones. Kids are going to be getting hungry. So on with the lid, we've got one more ingredient to go in, and then I'm going to show you my tips to make this super easy. 4 seconds speed, eh? All right, next up is some milk. Now, you could just go coconut milk, you could go almond milk, you could do, oh, look at that. So once upon a time, do you remember, I was with my nana, and I remember rubbing in the butter into the flour. Do you remember those days? Not with a Thermomix. Look at that. It's like done it for you. How good is that? All right, next. 250 grams of milk. In this goes. As I said, I'm just, look, long life all the way at the moment. Mainly because we've been having so many supply issues where we are. And that's okay. I would actually normally go for almond milk. Don't have any at the moment. That's okay. Again, didn't have any at the shop. Haven't had a chance to make it myself, because you guys know I would ordinarily do that. The thing to note if you are using an almond milk is, and any dairy-free milk, you won't get them quite as brown. They'll be a bit white looking, just because you're not getting that dairy to burn, to caramelize, okay, to make that little bit of brownness in it. Okay, in with the bacon mix. We are just about done. Okay. Let's go next. Insert the measuring cup in the mixing bowl lid. And now this next part, when we get it out, is really important. So let's do a mix for 30 seconds on need. When we get it out, less is more, okay? When you go to put it out on your tray, I'm going to show you how I do it. But the less you can handle it, the fluffier they are, okay? So hang on a sec. I just need to drink a cold ice black, it is. An ice black coffee. So I would love to have put this on my oven mat or my thermo mat. They're all dirty. We've had lots of creative things cooked this week. It's still a bit novel for the kids. Week 3 or week 4 are doing this. It's still, the novelty's still there. So baking paper it is. I think I've actually used, you guys might remember the other week I showed you how to make tortillas. I think we've used all that paper already. That's how much we've been going through lately. Transfer dough onto a silicone bread mat or large floured work surface. Gently shake the ball. Gently is the key word. If you work this hard, you're going to get rock cakes. I'm not going to cut them with cookie cutters. A couple of reasons. We got chunks of bacon in there. How do you reckon chunks of bacon might go when I try and cookie cutter it? My guess is it's going to make a big mess. Okay, we don't want that. So, not going to use a cookie cutter. I'm going to make one big slab like a damper, and I'm going to indent the top. That's actually when I'm cooking for my family and I'm making scones of some sort, normally gluten-free. That's what I do. Mainly because it is such a dough that if you overwork it, rock cakes it is. And no one wants rock cakes. Okay, it's sad. You might have a technique that works for you. You'll see in the tips it says if you're using a cookie cutter or a scone cutter, not to rotate it because it makes them rise funny. Yeah, okay, so just be mindful of that. Always flour it super well, but I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? By the way, if I was going to stay on longer, you could pre-clean that using the dough mode. So first of all, I use my baking paper and I just push it together. Now, if it starts sticking too incredibly, because I am using gluten-free, to the, I ripped it, to the baking paper, I'm going to put some more flour on it. All I'm doing though is I'm trying to make one big damper ball, dough ball. I really wish I had another bit of paper because I'd actually like to press it down. Alternatively to that, I'm going to grab my gluten-free flour. I'm going to grab a spatula first. Just flatten the top out a little bit, okay? I don't want to get too much gluten-free flour between the particles. So, if you do that, it's going to get flaky. You're going to have stuff that flakes apart, right? So we're going for about 2 centimeters tall. I think that's what it tells you. 1.5 it says into a disc. So it wants you to actually do exactly what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, you guys see what I'm doing? Can't wait to get in the pantry where my cameras are a little better. Oh, go away, fly. I actually love this. It looks really quite cafe style. You can actually see all the elements. Like I can see bacon and I can see onion, I can see cheese, I can see chives. It looks beautiful. You know what would be really nice in here? Some sun-dried tomato. All right, 1.5 centimeters high. Now, normally at this point in time, I didn't need that flour after all. Scone cutter, covered in flour, oozing in flour. Cut, 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 cut. With your last bit, push it together, push it into 2, tap it down, and I'm pushing. I'm not kneading it back together. I'm not mixing it together, pushing it together, okay? Me being the cheat cook that I am, cooking for so many people all the time, spatula, pushing it down, pushing it across, and I'm making it one big damper style. Now there's 6 of us, so I could either go with 12 or I could go with 6. I'm just going to go with 6 because, as I said, the less handling, the better. I always make myself a smaller part. Go across like that. Now this is going to go on my tray. Can you guys see that? Look at that. Doesn't that look yummy? Now you can brush the top with, it tells you how to use this scone cutter. If you don't have a scone cutter, a glass also works, okay? Just a glass, but yeah, that would work for you as well. Then it tells you to brush the surface with some milk. That will make it golden up. Okay, so I didn't bring my brush in. I'll have to do that off camera. And then you just cook it for 15 to 20 minutes at 100. Can't read the screen, guys. 15 to 20 minutes at 220 degrees. It's quite hot. When it's done, bring it out. Leave it for 5 minutes. I don't know if they tell you this. No, they don't. Leave it for 5 minutes and then take it off the tray. You do not want the underneath of this getting soggy. Okay. Now, I've talked about the fact that I do it like this to cheat for my family, okay? You could do it like this even if you're entertaining or serving it to others. It still looks lovely as little triangles or big triangles. I'd probably, if I was doing it for others, I'd serve it for 8. There's enough there to easily make 8 or 10, okay? But for the fact that there's 6 of us, 6 is a good number. Otherwise, I could halve them and make them smaller, but you're then going to lose a bit of fluffiness in the middle as you do. So I would highly suggest like that. Then you're serving it with butter and enjoying. So I hope you'll give this a go. Thanks for joining me today and listening to my little rambles. I hope if you're new here, reach out if I can help you. Okay, don't feel like you're a stranger. I do love to honestly hear from you. If you're thinking about a Thermomix and you've got questions, reach out. Again, I'm not ever going to pressure anyone into buying a Thermomix. I'm just here to answer your questions and empower you with the information about what it is and does. And how it might help you in your kitchen. Same with your friends and family. If you're sending them to watch these videos, I'm never going to talk anyone into a Thermomix because I want anyone who gets one to get the full potential out of it. If you are time poor and life is hectic and you need an answer to how you can make good food in your kitchen without buying it in a jar with all the numbers and colors and preservatives, I want to make sure that this does it for you. However, for some of you, you just might need something that stirs for you, but you want to get in the door in night time and you want to go do something else while it stirs that jar with that sauce in, with the meat. Like, that's okay as well. Whatever that need is, I want to make sure the Thermomix serves you really well. But otherwise, guys, thanks for joining me today. Remember to head over to my website. There's lots of resources under the blog. Okay, you'll see all last year's cheat sheets, the printables that you can stick on your fridge. There'll be more of those coming this year. Different themes we're going to go down the rabbit hole of, which I'm excited for. But otherwise, have a fantastic day. Remember, keep cooking in your Thermomix, spreading the Thermomix love with your friends and family, and then, can't wait to help you get the very most out of it. Take care, have a lovely day, and I will see you back here for another video tomorrow. See you then, guys. Bye for now.